very nice story of my very first encounter with Pastor Christie Bature. This was way back when I was on campus, University of Nigeria in Soka, and I was in a certain fellowship and we had a program and she was the guest minister and she was to come and minister in songs. And she stepped into that auditorium and she took the mic. ... I can't begin to explain what happened. The whole atmosphere was electric. So you can imagine, and then she never met me. I was probably in the crowd that was rushing after you by the time we had finished. But then look at us here today. So when we heard that she was coming, I was super excited. You don't understand what is going to happen here tonight. This dinner might have been called by men. Men's hands put together the tablecloth. They tied the lovely couple sashes. But this meeting was called by God. And for her to be here this evening is another indication. So if you thought you came here because you got an invitation card, it's deeper than that, it goes beyond that. So please, we're very warm people in Bonny. I don't know if this is her first time. No, it's not. This is not her first time in Bonny because I've been asking around and people have been gossiping and telling me that she has come before and it was fantastic. So can we give her a truly warm Bonny welcome? You're very welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you very much, everyone. Please be seated. Please let's welcome Mrs. Eno Taiwo.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to Pearls with Eno. I'm excited to have you all here to honor this invitation, and a big thank you for coming. Initially, I really didn't know what to write, but when I thought about the topic and what wrote a little speech, it might be long, but my minister to you in one way or the other. It says, life is a journey with a final destination. You might ask yourself, where am I going? Or perhaps, where are we all going? As an individual, you might have an idea about where you are going and how you can achieve your dreams. Suddenly, you meet another person who you want to go on that journey with. Did you discuss your destination together? Have you both agreed to go to the same place? Or have you decided to get there, but with different routes? Did you both change your routes for a uniform route that takes you both to that place? Some people have totally changed their routes and destinations after meeting the one. Why do plans have to change? Some have even lost their identity. Was that God's intention? Marriage is a beautiful thing. It was the first gift of God to humanity. He knew that it wasn't good for man to be alone and gave Adam a gift called Eve, his helpmate. All God's gifts are good and never add sorrow to it. Then why is there sorrow in some marriages? Why do we go into the journey and at some point realize something is wrong or something gets wrong? I think before embarking on this journey, some questions need to be asked. Concerns have to be addressed. Information and knowledge need to be sought. And most importantly, God's will must be obeyed, not ignored. Marriage is meant to be enjoyed, not endured. You might ask, I'm already in it. I'm already at the crossroad. What do I do? I'm stuck. Where do I go from here? You might also ask, I'm out of it already. Or, I never really was married. But now, I'm a single parent. Or, I am circumstantially in a union, not legally married. But I have children. Where do I go from here? This banquet is for you. This is a time to reflect, realize, and restructure our marriage, our union, and how we want a better future. Most parents don't want the life they are living currently for their children. This program will help us make visible changes that our children can learn from and be better equipped for a brighter future. If you are already enjoying your union, good for you, but it can be better. Let's reminisce on the good times and create better times ahead. Once a family is healthy, our society will be healthy. Sit back, relax, and have fun. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Christie Bature Ogbeifun received Christ into her life in 1979. She's been in full-time ministry since 1989 and is the president of the Tranquil Ministries, Port Harcourt. It is a multifaceted ministry with emphasis on the word, music, and down-to-earth teaching. She's from Kaduna State, Bature by tribe, while her husband is from Edo State. She grew up in Kano, attended SIM Primary School Kano, Federal Government Girls College Yola, and Federal Polytechnic Bida. Christie has a background of electrical and electronic engineering, but opted for ministry as she found more fulfillment there. There are several arms of that ministry, amongst which are a campus outreach, a couples outreach, a TV ministry, Christie Bature concerts, and Pact Network, which is a ministry to the addicted. She has the record of having pioneered gospel music ministry in the city of Port Harcourt and has mentored a large number of ministers in ministry today. She has also been ministering to students in campuses from secondary to tertiary since 1992. The ministry has visited countless schools at no cost to the schools, such expenses being fully borne by our ministry. Many have come to the saving knowledge of Christ through these outreaches, and each student who makes a decision to follow Jesus receives a book written by Christie free of charge. She has ministered the gospel in quite a few nations within and outside of Nigeria. Her TV program, Everyday People, is a simple, down-to-earth approach for walking through life with just a little more faith today than yesterday. It mainly addresses family, sexual addiction, and recovery in the church. It has been running for 9 years and is currently airing in 53 nations. I think that's a good place to put your hands together. Christie is a member of the American Association of Christian Counselors, a certified life coach, and a member of the American Association of Sexual Addictions Therapists. An arm of the ministry, Pact Network, runs leadership trainings for churches and individuals on addictions and recovery. It also runs seminars for corporate organizations on the effects of addictions on quality and productivity. In January of 2015, she opened probably the first proper drug and other addictions rehabilitation center in the South zone of Nigeria, in Port Harcourt. Thank you. She has written several books and also has 6 albums. Married to Mr. Greg Ogbeifun, they make their home in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, and have many children. Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Christie Bature Ogbeifun. Can we put our hands together for her? Just in case you don't know where she's sitting, please, ma'am, would you kindly stand and wave to us so that we know? Thank you very much. You're welcome. At this point, we've come to the meat of the program, the reason why we're here, and I'll be handing over the microphone to our very amiable hostess for tonight. So it's going to be recorded, and so there'll be 2 parts. The first part will be on stage, and the second part will be down here. So ladies and gentlemen, please can we put our hands together for Mrs. Eno Taiwo. We can clap a little more.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Pearls with Eno. So we're on the 4th edition of our show, and this is tagged The Union, Tranquil and Travails. So with me here tonight is going to be Reverend Mrs. Christie Bature Ogbeifun, and she's joining me on the seats just now. Mrs. Christie Bature Ogbeifun is a big auntie of mine, so I'm always used to calling her Auntie Christie. I've always admired her growing up. The first encounter I had with her was her singing at one of my dad's events. And since then, I just loved her. And I told her this morning when we're coming from the jetty about a program that was hosted in school when I was in the University of Port Harcourt, and she was ministering. And I told my friends, come, let's go, there's a program, there's a concert. And then we all went for that concert, and she played the saxophone, so she's quite versatile. Can we give her a round of applause, please? Auntie, please, can you tell us a little more about yourself? I know a little about you, but our audience will be itching to know who Mrs. Christie Bature Ogbeifun is.
I've been for a few years on earth, so that's one thing you can know. I'm over 50 years old, and I have 7 children and 3 grandchildren. I'm from Kaduna, like the second already, my citation, and my husband is Benin. So I've learned how to make owo soup and how to kneel down to greet. We don't kneel in my place. So I kneel down when I go to Benin. I've been in Port Harcourt for about 25 years. And yeah, that's it.
So what's your best food?
My best food? What's my best food? Do I have? I just eat. I don't know if I have best food. But they told me that it would make me grow when I was a child. They forced me to eat it and I still didn't grow. So I don't like this. I still didn't grow. I'm still not very tall. So I don't like this for that.
So what are your hobbies?
Let me give it in the order. Reading, singing, dancing. Those are my
like we hear, readers are leaders. And reading, I've gained a lot by reading, a lot of information. And like the Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge.
It's not lack of anointing.
It's lack of knowledge. So we have to read. I know, like in our culture, it's very difficult. In fact, growing up, I never read a book from front to cover as a teenager. It was in higher institution that I was like, I must start reading, and I developed it. So it's really great to be reading. So what was growing up in your family like in terms of relationship?
Growing up was painful. My dad was a functioning alcoholic. My mom was not educated. She didn't know how to fit into his world, and he never brought her into it. There was a lot of conflict because, well, not obvious conflict, because in the north, the women don't talk, you can't complain, you can't really say anything, so you just sit down and absorb everything that is thrown at you. So my mom couldn't confront my dad for the amount of drinking and then the amount of womanizing. And then she was saddled with all the children. There were 10 of us. And so it was painful watching my mom. Every time you looked at her eyes, you could see the pain that her life was. And yet she couldn't find expression for what was going on. So relationships in my family were very fractured because everyone was dealing with their own kind of pain. And then when we got into teenage, some of my siblings began to take off on tangents that didn't make sense, and it was all a fallout of the pain that was just beneath the surface in our family. So growing up was difficult and painful. My dad was very wealthy, so it wasn't an issue of poverty or lack. We had stuff, but now I know that stuff means nothing if you're not happy or at peace. So that's how growing up was. I was the fourth child, and so I was like smack in the middle, and it wasn't funny.
So, what are your thoughts on the topic, the union of Tranquils and Travails?
Well, when I saw Tranquils and Travails, I said maybe they should have put Travails before the Tranquils, because there's plenty traveling inside marriage. One day my husband and I were having a big quarrel, shouting. So I said, please honey, don't let the children hear us fighting. He said, let them hear us. So how would they know that marriage is hard work? Want to hide it from them? Make them hear us, but let them also see us settle. So our children are used to us. When we start, they just tell themselves, they start their business, let's go. Then when we are finished, they will come back, knock on the door. Have you people finished? Can we come in? So it's become normal for them to see us fight, but also see us settle. Yeah, so my take on the topic is it's so pertinent at this time to talk about these issues, because the silence that surrounds issues in marriage is appalling, and it's also part of the reason why so many marriages are struggling. We don't talk about these issues, we shroud them and we present this perfect facades. Meanwhile, behind the facades are huge cracks that one day suddenly give way and there's no remedy. So it's so important to talk about these things at this time. In our rehab, one of the things we do is also marriage rehab. We try to help marriages that are struggling, especially marriages that have been rocked by adultery, and the couple is still willing to work on the marriage. So, I mean, it couldn't have come at a better time to touch on these issues.
Thank you very much. Reverend Christie came prepared for us, and she would like to share a few things with us. So at this juncture, I will leave, and she will show us what she has for us. So enjoy this part of the show.
I like to deal with very serious issues through humor. So I like to show something now. One of the female brain. This is product of science. So it's not balderdash. You can go on the internet and you will find this. But just before you put it, I want to sing a song because it's part of what I do. If home is really where the heart is, then home must be a place we all can share. For even with our differences, our hearts are much the same. And where love is, we come together there. Wherever there is laughter ringing, someone smiling, someone dreaming, we can live together there. Love will be our home. Wherever there are children singing and a tender heart is beating, we can live together there, and love will be our home. At home, we all can be a family, yes, and love brings us together in one place. And though we may be far apart, our hearts can beat as one, and love brings us together face to face. Wherever there is laughter ringing, someone smiling, someone dreaming, we can live together there, and love will be our home. Where there are words of kindness spoken and the vow is never broken. We can live together there, and love will be our home. Love will be our home. Oh, love will be our home. Yes, love will be our home. Wherever there is laughter ringing, someone smiling, someone dreaming, we can live together there, and love will be our home. Wherever there are children singing and a tender heart is beating, we can live together there, and love will be our home. Where there are words of kindness spoken, where a vow is never broken, we can live together there, and love will be our home. Oh, love will be our home. This is a product of scientific research, and they have come up with how the brain of the woman and the man have developed over the years, and I think that having that understanding will ease a lot of tension in homes. Everybody can see that, can't you? All right, so at the top it says the female brain. Now, I want to start from that purple one at the very top. It says spiritual radar. Spiritual radar. I'm going to ask the convener, I'll leave this behind so they can print it out and everybody can take a copy home. The men can take the female brain and put it up on their dressing table side, and the women can take the male brain and put it on their own side of the dressing table, so that when certain things happen, they remind themselves, oh, it's just the brain. It's not it, it's the brain. It's not her, it's the brain. Okay, so spiritual radar up there, there's something God put in the woman, it's called intuition. Men don't have it. It's not a defect, it's just the design. And the woman can sense a lot of things that the man can't sense. But you see, when the woman brings it up, the men are like, no, you've come with your whatever, spookiness, over spirituality, possessiveness. You call it all kinds of things, but it's actually a gift God gave a woman so she can watch your back. The woman will many times just wake up and say, oh, please, honey, don't travel. You know you were supposed to travel. Don't travel today. And you're like, what's all this? Why? She can't tell you why. She just picked something up. And usually if you go on that journey, things go wrong. And she may not be able to explain it to you. It's just something God put there. Now this is, the blue one to the side is indecision nucleus. Where you see this at work is when the man decides to break it and take his wife shopping. And they have decided, okay, the guy says, I need 2 shirts, 2 trousers, and 2 ties. And they go to the shopping mall and he says, okay, you go, get your stuff, I'll get mine and we'll meet here in an hour. So the guy comes back in 20 minutes because he just goes into the shop and pow, 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 pow. He's got what he wants and goes back and sits down and says, okay, we said an hour, let me read my paper. And 1 hour passes and 2 hours pass and he's like, where's this woman? So he gets up and he goes to the shop where she's at. And when he gets there, she has like 20 dresses lined up. She only needed 2, but there's 20. And she's like, honey, I can't make up my mind. Please, can you help me? And he's like, take this one, this is nice. She said, but this is black, I like it in blue also. And the man gets really mad. It's not her fault. That's the way the brain is. It's very difficult for the woman to make up her mind. Hello? Yeah, okay, so that will settle some quarrels this evening. There at the top, you have telephone skills. How many companies have you gone to and you found a man as the receptionist? Very rare. Because he doesn't have the capacity to coordinate 6 calls at once and not mess it up. The woman is the only one who multitasks. She can have her baby on her back, her spoon cooking her soup, and her phone in her ear, and none will suffer. Because that's just how she's made. Alright? So, but men don't do that. If a man says to his wife, honey, I just want to run down the road and buy a spark plug for my car, she's like, on your way, please, can you just help me? No, I'm going for spark plug. When I finish my spark plug, I can go and use. Why? You can't do the two at the same time. It's not a defect, it's his design. God had to make the man that unifocus so that he can achieve things with real speed. Yes. Then, okay, look at the purple one to the side. It says shoe and handbag coordination. It has actually become a gland in the woman's brain. And I want to connect it quickly with this one that looks like a shoe here. It's titled shopping. See how big it is? I mean, it's part of the woman's brain to shop and to coordinate her color. So when we ask you for money, please just give the money. Don't fight. Don't shout. Just give the money. It's our brain. It's not us. It's the brain. Okay? And I come to this one, the one under the telephone skills. It says sensitivity to perceived criticism. See how big it is? And it says, see note 1. Note 1 says the size varies depending on the time of the month. Don't criticize your wife when she has PMS. Don't criticize your wife when she's in her period or just before her period. We don't like it. Because there's too many things already going on in our bodies and you're adding more externally, so we flip. If you don't want a flipping wife, don't flipping say anything when she's in her period. Okay? I know you're the one, she's using the word flipping, yes, because it is really flipping when you say things when we're in our periods. Praise God. Now look at that big blue one there. It's nag central, nag. It's part of the woman's brain and it makes her nag. Men, when your wife is nagging, understand there's something in the brain driving her to do it. Don't take it too seriously. Don't take it too seriously. When she nags, you can count stars if it's night and you can see the stars. If you can't see the stars, count numbers in your head when she's nagging. Don't get too angry. It's part of the brain. And then the bottom one, the brown one, it says home traffic controller. She's the one that wakes up in the morning. Hey, Jane, are the children ready? Even the husband, she's telling him what to do. He's like, why is this woman commanding me in my house like this? She's the home traffic controller. She wants everything to go well. So she's the traffic warden, telling people, go left, go right. If you're not ready, I'm leaving you behind, blah, 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 blah. It says the need for commitment hemisphere. Look at how big it is. That's why a guy says to a lady, hello, can I take you out? And after taking her once out, the next time they meet, she's asking her, please, what are we doing? Why are you taking me out? What are you looking for? And the man's like, I just say no, we go chop. I don't talk anything. Say no, but you know, she has a need for commitment. So when you say hello, she has already planned the wedding. That's what's driving her. She's already planned the wedding from hello. So don't be afraid when she does that. She's not trying to choke you. It's just the way the brain works. At the bottom of it is romance. And men, please, when we say romance, don't go to sex. It's not what we're talking about. Romance for your wife could be that maybe you live in a compound and every day for the past 10 years, she's been the one running your water, or you live in your house and she runs water for you to bathe. And one morning you surprise her and say, honey, I ran your water for you. That's romance. Did you hear one woman go, who? And men will be like, what's in there for water? Don't worry, just accept it. It means a lot. Praise God. Romance could be buying a handkerchief that has a rose flower on it just for your wife. Romance could be that you know that your wife likes the snacks from restaurant A and is out of your way. But because your wife likes it, you go out of your way and buy that and bring for her at home. That's romance, please guys. It's not necessarily touching and what follows. There's this big one here called chocolate center. Can you see how big it is? It's actually a part of the woman's brain, which is why more women eat sweet things than men. It's part of the brain. But more than that, is the reason why a girl would see, or a woman would see a man who just came out of prison, who is the baddest girl on the street, but she loves him. And everybody's telling her, this is not a good person. And she says, and he says he loves me. He says I'm the best thing that happened to him. That's why
everybody no more. He couldn't have said those words to me if he didn't mean them. You didn't hear his voice. Why? That guy just fed the chocolate center and the woman is mush in his hands. When I was younger, I think this song was done by, I don't know if it's Jim Reeves, but he goes, your 5-year-old face is a bloody disgrace. And the 5-year-old says, but you love me, daddy. It doesn't matter what the father complained about, the boy just kept saying, of course you love me, daddy. So that's what the woman does when the man has fed the chocolate center. She just becomes mush in his hands. So guys, if you want to score, it's not hard. You know they are. Just feed this chocolate center. Everything will go very smoothly in your favor. Praise the Lord. Alright? And here, look at this small one here. It says sense of direction. She does not have a sense of direction. The thing didn't develop. So you ask her, do you know Sister Jane's house? Of course, let's go. I went there 3 times. Then you take 3 turns and she's like, I thought this is where we passed to go, and the man is fuming. What is... She doesn't have a sense of direction. Very few women know where they're going after 3 times. So don't get angry if she... In fact, don't trust her when she says, I know. Call somebody else and confirm where she's telling you she knows before you leave the house, or else you get angry. Alright? Here, look at this one, this tiny one here. Ability to keep her opinions to herself. She doesn't have it. She has to tell you everything. My husband he almost burst some arteries when we're in the car. And as we're going to be like, look how that man is walking. Look how this man is like, what is your business? I'm like, I'm just talking. Do you have to talk? It's not your problem, it's my mouth. You understand? So she doesn't have the capacity to keep her opinions to herself. She has to tell you, even if you don't want to hear it. Don't get angry. I come to the last 2 quickly. And they're the only 2, if you notice, that are connected to each other. The small green one is the sex gland. Alright? And it's sitting on a very huge one, the listening gland. So when a woman does not feel heard, doesn't feel considered, does not feel cared for, she's incapable of being sexual because they are connected. And you hear men say, is it because I didn't do this, that's why she's denying me sex? Oh, she's being wicked. No, she's not being wicked. She's incapable of separating being heard from being sexual. That's why 2 of them are connected. Alright, now, I want you to take note of how small that sex gland is. Because when you see the male brain, you will understand the potential for big problem immediately. I've also heard women say, these men, is it all they think about? Why do they always ask for sex? Is that all they think about? And the answer is, please, let's see the male brain. Male brain. There. Okay. Yeah, that always gets people to laugh. Now, the first thing you notice about the male brain is that it's not as busy as the woman's brain. There are not too many things there. Men don't like clutter. They're straightforward, easy, organized. Alright? Now at the top, that green one is ball sports, ball. For the life of me, I don't understand how 22 grown men will be pursuing one small leather thing and killing themselves, and then the whole world becomes united. But I don't understand. I can't be bothered. But because I have 3 sons plus my husband, that's 4 men, and my 3 sons support 3 different football teams. So there's always war in my house. And I'm like, for what? Those people collect their money and go home. You people are here fighting because Arsenal won Man U or Chelsea did not score and all of that. But ball sports are for men, it's part of their brain. So lady, when he's watching his sports, it's not the time to discuss the children's school fees. Children's school fees is very important. Mama is sick in the village, very important. But please don't bring it up when he's watching his sports. He won't listen to you. And you go there and be angry. Can you imagine? I was talking about such a very important topic and he wasn't even interested. He won't be interested. So I don't say talk and I make quarrel for reduce. I don't understand. Praise God.
Okay, look at this red one, dangerous pursuits. Dangerous pursuits. When I see some of the things men do, my husband got up at the age of 51 and told me that he wants to buy a power bike. I said, power what? Don't try that. What is power? 50? Please, you did not buy power bike when you were 25. Want to buy it at 51? Not try me. I'm not going to be a widow at this time. What is power bike? He said, honey, it's power bike. I said, no, you power inside the car. Where I know that if anything happens, mental death will protect you. I know he said it will fly. And I saw one man have an accident on a power bike. I never want to see that again. So dangerous pursuits are part of men. You guys do bungee jumping. Now why? What is that? Adrenaline junkies. So woman understand it, so when he comes up with some funny ideas, just understand that it's a big part of his brain. The big yellow one is ability to drive manual transmission. Not many women drive trailers. It's not because trailers are big, it's because manual transmission, we just want to get in a car, put our foot on the accelerator and let the car move, for goodness sake. You don't have to change gear 1, 2, and 3. That's why more men do. You don't even find women operating and jackhammers when they are building roads, because women don't do all those things. Power tool area, right under the dangerous pursuits. And anything that makes noise attracts men. I don't know, my husband travels and every time he come back with some gadget that makes noise. And after a few days, he goes into the museum of gadgets. He said, you know, I saw this thing. I said, why did you buy it? No. This one can help you to shave the hair in your ear. After 2 days, I find it dismantled. It's inside one archive. Guys and tools. All right, I want you to see this blue one at the bottom. Ladies, I'm sure you're used to this one. Lame excuses. You ask a man a question and he knows that you have done wrong. The excuse he gives you, you just control yourself not to roll your eyes and say, does he think I am an imbecile? What kind of answer is that? Look at this one. The gray one on top of the blue one. Avoid personal questions at all costs. When you ask him, so where are you coming from? Is that the question to ask somebody that is just coming back from work? That's not the answer to the question. Answer the question. Why are you so late? What is your problem? Avoid personal questions at all costs. Please, ladies, take note of this and understand when they do it, it's not to annoy you. That's what's going on in the brain. This big one that looks like a shoe, TV and remote control, they call it addiction center. You people are watching TV, immediately it comes in. Everybody knows to vamoose and give him the remote. Bah, CNN, bah, NASCAR racing, bah. Oh God, let the whole house becomes boring and shut down. Everybody just walks away, that is bad. This man is bad. Please don't get angry, it's a big part of his brain. It's like a dot, it's called ironing. Look at that up on domestic skills, they didn't develop. The man doesn't have it. So when he doesn't help you, it's not because he wants to be wicked. It's not a part of his brain. Now, I'm going to give a caveat. The fact that the brains have developed like that doesn't mean that we just go with that. We can always make an effort to do better than what we're doing or how we're doing right now. Okay, look at this one that's red. Attention span. See how small it is? So when he says to you, the shirt I asked you to drop at the dry cleaners, did you drop it? Please, woman, just say to him, yes, I did. Then tell him all the story that was part of the going. When he says, did you drop my shirt? Don't start, honey, if you know what happened to me today, just to go and drop that your shirt. In the process of going, so the man said, please, just go straight to the point, and the man will vex. Can you imagine, I'm trying to talk to you, you are shutting me down? His attention span is small. If you like, continue the story. What he does is switch off. Then when you finish, you switch back on. Did you drop the dress? You say yes, thank you. Conversation is over for him. So please, his attention span is small. Don't tell him too many stories. Women have like 6,000 times more word quota in a day than a man. And the woman must finish the quota. So when she's talking, please forgive her. It's not. Now, there are two funny ones I wanted to show you. There's one, look at the footnote. The listening to the children cry in the middle of the night gland is not shown due to its small nature. Is best viewed under a microscope. You hear women who can imagine this baby was crying throughout the night and this one was just sleeping. He didn't care, he didn't talk to her. No, he didn't register in his brain that a baby is crying. He doesn't have it. So if your husband wakes up to help you, thank God. Sometimes you will beat him and beat him, he won't even turn. It's not being wicked. That thing is not even showing up in the brain. It doesn't register when the baby is crying that he should wake up. He doesn't hear it. It's you that hears because God put that in you. Alright? So I come to the 2 kings. No, there's one more. Look at that one. Toilet aiming cell. See how small it is? Because I keep telling my husband, you've had this PP since you were born. Can't you just aim it inside the toilet? Must you weigh on top of the toilet seat? And you look at me like, I said, well, how old are you now? This PP has been yours. It's not somebody's own. You are aiming. It's your own. Pee inside the toilet for where. So when I see my boys peeing all over the seat, I'm like, even my papa went on to how many decades. No one sabi aim. Now I will conflict. So ladies, when they wee on the toilet seat, it's just one pit. No vex. It didn't develop. See how small it is. They can't aim it. Hello. Yeah, so many quarrels don't settle today and we just clean up, no vex. They don't get them. Praise God. Last 2. 1 is sex. 2 is sex. By the time, I want you to remember how small, look at his own listening particle. It's called a particle. Do you remember how big the woman's listening gland is? Look at his own. Listen to me. You don't listen to me, I don't care. In the evening when I want sex, bring it. If you like listen, if you like don't listen. In fact, don't be even listening while I'm doing it, is your problem. It is not being callous. That's just who he is. He doesn't care if you listen to him or not. So, each one of these sex glands are about 10 or 15 times bigger than the woman's sex gland. That's immediately a potential for trouble. Because when the woman struggles and satisfies number 1, number 2 is at attention. And then she manages to get here and like, okay, let me take a break. But that guy has recharged his batteries and is up waiting. So the woman starts to struggle, the man begins to get angry because something is going on here. This is where the spirit of compassion and the fruit of the spirit called temperance comes into play. The woman needs to have compassion on the man, knowing that what drives him is not mania, it's the makeup of his brain. God made him like that. It's not a fault, it's not a defect, it's the design. God made him like that, so you have to bring compassion to step up your game to be able to help him. And the man needs to have temperance to understand if she has maybe 25 times less than my sex drive, then I can't keep going and going at her over and over because she can't handle it. That's what helps us, and then it brings us to the place of compromise. Thank you very much.
I thought the clap would be louder than that. Thank you so much, ma'am. Really very interesting. You know, when we first started tonight, some women were sitting a bit far from their husband. But after this explanation, I can see chairs slowly moving together because you're suddenly realizing that it's not just this man. There are quite a lot of them out there. And it's not just this woman. Amen. All right, so moving on. We're going to have a question and answer session. And if you got a little booklet when you came in, we gave people some free booklets. If you got a free booklet, there's a paper in the middle where you can write your questions down. All questions asked tonight will be anonymous. So if you just put your questions down, ushers will come round in a bit and pick them up for the question and answer session.